You've probably seen this monstrosity floating around lately. Curious how to actually do it? Today, I'll teach you exactly what the techs involved in these combos are and how to adapt them to different teams. It's already been shown all over the place in unreacted teams, mostly Chevrolet's Overload. But this tech actually has utility across every archetype: Melt, Vape, Overload, Monopyro, you name it, and whatever future team ends up existing. Keep in mind, this is an advanced guide. Mavuika is perfectly fine without any of this, but the gains you get from learning these techs and combos are significant enough to where I would absolutely recommend you giving them a try. Alright, no time to waste, let's go. Simply put, this janky spinning thing you see in clips all over the place is a way to cancel the dash animation with the next charge attack. It's essentially a double cancel, if you will. The dash cancels the charge attack, and the next charge attack cancels the dash. So this allows you to fit far more charge attacks into the same amount of time, which directly translates to higher damage output. This is how you do it. Look at the bottom left corner of the screen to see what I'm doing with my mouse. Okay, so think of this entire tech as doing a normal dash cancel out of a charged attack or a finisher animation, but instead of starting to hold the attack button for the next charge attack after you dash like you might intuitively do, you start holding it slightly before pressing dash. So this buffers the next charge attack, and since the charged attack animation takes priority over the dash, the next charge attack can come out the moment you let go of the dash button rather than after the dash animation completes. That's all there is to it. Take a look at it again. This tech works for all charge attack finisher animations and every first charge attack in a sequence, including following a previous dash. And it can only be used twice in a row, since dash cooldowns exist, obviously. And that's kind of all there is to say regarding the mechanics behind this tech, so please take as much time as you need to understand it, and we'll go on. Two big tips for when practicing this. First, you can start holding the attack button before dashing earlier than you think. Don't start holding attack and press dash at the same time. They should land on two distinct beats. Second, don't rush to cancel the second charge attack after a cancel. Let the attack actually connect before you cancel it. You're already gaining tons of damage just by attempting to do this, you don't have to rush. Remember, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Now that you understand the base tech, let's talk about how to apply it across different teams and combos. Unreacted teams include Chevrolet's Overload, Monopyro variants, maybe with a sub DPS like Chiori, Emily, perhaps Albedo, Durin, and any team where you don't really have to worry about reactions or ICD on Mavuika. So these are the simplest to understand, since your goal is literally to just output as many charge attacks and dashes as possible without needing to worry about reaction timing. For reference, the notation I'll be using on screen for everything today is C for charge attack, D for dash, and F for finisher. The full unreacted combo looks something like this. To execute this, start with two charged attacks with cancels. The second cancel sets you up for two donuts, followed by a finisher to wait for your dash cooldown to reset. By the time the finisher lands, dash will be back, so you can cancel into the next charge attack and immediately cancel that one as well. That sequence naturally feeds back into the next donut finisher cancel loop. Within the 7-second burst window, you should be able to fit in roughly 6 instances of dash damage and around 12 to 13 charge attacks in total, including about 10 donuts and 2 to 3 finishers. The timing for the final third finisher is very tight, so don't stress if it slips outside of the burst window. You're already gaining a massive damage boost compared to not using this tech, so it really doesn't matter. Depending on your specific team, it may also be worth doing a few of these cancels outside of the burst window. For example, you can use this during extra field time to pre-stack Chevrolet's C6 before Mavuika's burst if you want. Double Cryo Melt teams include anything with Seat Lally and another Cryo applicator who can provide consistent application, such as Escoffier, Rosaria, Ganyu, or even an Animo unit with Cryo absorption like Kazuha or Sucrose. In these teams, ICD becomes important because we actually want to ensure that the charge attacks are the ones melting, not the dashes. The combo looks a little bit something like this. This combo is actually easier in terms of inputs than the unreacted one. It uses the exact same cancel tech, but we add more donuts in between the cancels to properly space out the instances of pyro application, or melts. When done correctly, this setup allows you to melt 7 charge attacks consistently within the burst window. And by the time the last finisher lands and triggers your 7th melt, you'll actually have quite a bit of duration in Mavuika's burst remaining, which gives you flexibility to delay the start of the combo slightly if you need to wait for Cryo Aura at the beginning. In teams like this one with Escoffier, you can start attacking immediately after the burst lands. However, in this other setup with Rosaria for example, you might need to wait briefly for Cryo to apply it before beginning your combo. This combo allows for that, just find the timing that fits your specific team perfectly. Here's another example using Kazuha as the secondary Cryo source instead of Escoffier. Pretty cool, huh? Now, there are slightly more optimal ways to sequence the double cryo combo. Of course there is, and that can result in marginally more damage. However, every single one I've seen uses macros, and I can tell you pretty confidently after dozens, if not hundreds of hours of testing, this particular combo here is the most consistent and practical one that can be performed manually without any RNG. Solo Cryo Melt refers to teams with just one cryo applicator, usually Citlali. In this team, the combo involves a new tech. Well, it's not really a new tech, but it's melting one charge attack before Mavuika's burst, like such. What this does is pretty simple. It offsets the ICD, allowing the first hit after Mavuika's burst to not react or apply pyro immediately. This shifts the timing so that all 4 melts during the burst buff window land on finishers, which have the highest multipliers, and that of course gives you an increase. The complete setup looks a little something like this. In this sequence, the cancels are very simple. You're only using the cancel tech on the finishers, and repeating the same spinning action over and over until the burst buff ends. You might need to let the donut animation play slightly longer toward the end to make sure the last couple of finishers receive cryo application and trigger a melt. The key to executing this combo properly is keeping your setup tight. After Citlali's burst and a quick normal attack, swap to Mavuika immediately, perform one charge attack, and burst right away. If done correctly, you should see a cryo aura appear immediately after Mavuika's burst lands. So it's worth mentioning that there are other solo cryo combo variants with slightly better results, but those all rely on RNG, specifically the RNG of landing Mavuika's burst before Citlali's Spirit Vessel skull pops. Screw that, it's just not worth chasing. This one on the other hand, although fairly difficult, especially in the setup phase, does not need RNG whatsoever once you get it down. The unlimited application combo, is what you use when elemental application is basically infinite. For example, against something like the Hydro Tulpa, which has self-hydro, or in teams with lots of hydro or extreme cryo application. The combo goes a little something like this. So this combo uses another trick. If you double tap the attack button quickly after holding the attack button to start charge attacking, Mavuika will automatically continue performing donuts without needing you to keep on holding the button. So what this allows you to do is to perform the exact same dash cancel tech as we did earlier in the middle of a donut sequence without ever needing to do a finisher. So if you can pull this off, you'll be able to vape or melt a total of 8 charge attacks within one Mavuika burst window. Something absolutely unheard of. This represents the highest known potential reaction count for Mavuika. Oh, and don't worry if you can't execute this one perfectly. You can always fall back on the double Cryo combo, which yields 7 reactions and is much easier to perform consistently. That said, this unlimited application combo is, well, the most accessible 8 reaction combo I've found. It has a surprising amount of leniency and doesn't actually require that much hydro application if you want to use it in a vape team. Columbina? I've seen Kokumi sustain it solo. Cryo, however, is much stricter. You'll need at least C4 Citlali combined with another Cryo to keep it stable. Make with that as you will. Hey guys, thanks for watching. It's been a while, but I hope you learned something you can end up using today. No fancy conclusion or anything this time. It's a quick video about Mavuika combos, and I don't want to talk about anything else. Anyway, sleep well, eat well, and take care of yourself, please. Butterfur out.